Leading figures of the Renaissance. In the last chapter, you visited Florence to explore some of the major advances of the Renaissance. Now you will learn how Renaissance ideas spread from Italy across Europe. Then you will study the lives and work of 10 leading figures of the Renaissance. From the 14th through the 16th centuries, Europe crackled with energy. Trade and commerce boomed, cities grew, artists and writers experimented with their crafts and created wonderful works of art and literature. New ways of thinking led to inventions and scientific discoveries. Rulers and wealthy patrons supported the work of artists, scientists, and explorers. Why was there so much creative energy during the Renaissance? One reason was the Renaissance ideal that people should be educated in many areas. People who studied art or music, for example, were also interested in science. To this day, we still use the phrase Renaissance person to describe someone who is skilled and knowledgeable in many fields. You have already met the best example of this Renaissance ideal, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo trained as a painter, but he was also a scientist, engineer, musician, and architect. He designed fortifications, waterways, and machines. He studied and drew plants, animals, and people. In his notebooks, he sketched ideas for inventions that were far ahead of his time. Leonardo is one of the 10 Renaissance artists, scientists, monarchs, and writers you will study in this chapter. First, though, let's look at how the Renaissance spread through Europe from its birthplace in Italy. As you have learned, the Renaissance began in Italy. From there, it spread to France, Germany, Flanders, Holland, England, and Spain. Renaissance ideas were spread through trade, travel, and education. Italy was the gateway to Europe for much of the trade from Asia, Africa, and the Greek-speaking cities of the East. Traders moved through Italy to the rest of Europe, bringing a rich flow of new ideas along with their goods. Visitors to Italy also helped spread Renaissance ideas. People from all over Europe traveled to Italy to learn as well as to trade. Scholars went to study humanism. Artists studied Italian painting and sculpture to learn new styles and techniques. When these travelers returned home, many of them founded art schools and universities. Artists taught others what they had learned in Italy. Scholars began to teach the new ideas of experimentation and logical thinking. The spread of ideas was made even easier by the invention of the printing press. This machine presses inked type or plates onto paper to create many copies of a work. Recall from your study of China that the Chinese had learned to make paper and to print using wooden blocks. Gradually, knowledge of papermaking and examples of Chinese printing blocks reached Europe. In about 1450, a German named Johannes Gutenberg dramatically improved on existing printing methods. He invented a printing press that used movable type, characters that could be rearranged and used over again on other printing jobs. Unlike the Chinese, who use wooden blocks for printing, Gutenberg casts his type in metal. Before Gutenberg's invention, most books were written and copied by hand. It could take 4 or 5 months to copy a 200-page book. The new press could produce 300 pages in a single day. As a result, books and short works called pamphlets could be made much more quickly and cheaply. The number of printers in Europe soon increased rapidly. People used printed matter to spread new ideas, discoveries, and inventions. And since printed material is more widely available, more people learned to read. As new ideas spread, people in more countries were swept up in the spirit of the Renaissance. Let's now look at 10 leading Renaissance figures and their accomplishments.